All right, y'all, ain't no half stepping with Marcus J is live. We are in the building. Got another outstanding show for y'all tonight. Can't wait for y'all to join in and hear the outstanding information that we're going to share with y'all tonight. We got the Nation of Gods and Earths in the building with us tonight. We're going to learn who is God, who is Earth, and what does 5% mean. Got a whole lot that we getting into tonight. We bringing it to you. We're the flagship show of Legacy Internet Radio. You're listening to Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J. It's live. It's right now.
It's about that time. It's about that time to get.
Button your lip, open your ears, strap on your thinking cap. Socially conscious talk that's entertaining with a dash of humor and the top sports stories of the week. It's time for Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J.
Sellers has Jordan. Jordan with 2 seconds to go. Puts it up and scores at the buzzer. Michael Jordan has won it for Chicago. Manning lobs it. Burris alone. Touchdown, New York.
Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. He hits one deep to right center. That ball is out of here. The Yankees win the pennant.
If they lying, then they must be half stepping. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J is live. We are in the building. Be down with us tonight by calling us at 804-402-2893. Be down with the flagship show. Heard live from the den of Legacy Internet Radio. Thank y'all to everybody for rocking with us tonight. We appreciate those folks that are checking us out on TuneIn as well as on Streamer. Those folks that are checking us out on our brand spanking new website, www.legacyinternetradio.com. We're thanking you guys. We're thanking the folks that are checking us out right now on our replays on TuneIn, on YouTube, as well as on iTunes, because y'all rock with us. We are rolling with y'all. Shout out to my family right now checking us out on Facebook Live. We can see you. Peace to my brother, Mr. 3375. We wish you were here. Shout out to my brother Tavon. Shout out to my brother AJ Brewer of Brewers Cafe. Y'all need to check out their coffee right here on Bainbridge in Richmond, Virginia. My brother Reg down at ATL is checking us out already, and my brother Bondi is checking us out already. So got a lot of folks already in. We got a lot to get into tonight. We're definitely happy and proud to have you folks checking us out. We got the Nation of Gods and Earths in the building with us tonight, and I know many folks have had questions about them and who they are and what is their way of life, and we're going to get a lot of information from them tonight. And so I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to get them introduced. The first person I'll introduce is a brother of mine who I've known for a very long time. I consider him a brother. I'm sure he considers me one as well. We go back well over 20 years from Virginia Union University. He's my big brother. I got my brother True in the building. What's up, brother?
All right, peace. What's going on, Marks?
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too, bro.
You back in your home, man.
Yeah,
you
bro.
was here, what was it, 2 months ago?
2 months ago. I'm glad to be back again. Thank you for having us. And this is such an important topic because, a lot of people don't know that we are still here.
Right.
The Nation of Gods and Earths is still here. The 5%ers are still here. We're still out here teaching. We're here. And we're ready to move forward and jump in the community and do some things as well.
Right.
So look for our flag. You will see it flying high.
I appreciate it, man. I did the best that I could to kind of get the flag out in social media so that folks can see and know that you guys will be here, and I look forward to an opportunity to share. We have a whole cast of Gods and Earths in the room with us tonight, so I'm going to give you the pleasure of introducing the crew.
Well, first I'm just going to introduce myself. My name is True Master Allah. To my right, immediate right is my Earth, Queen Sheba Truth Islam Earth. And next to her is Queen Reluna, Queen Earth. To my left, I got my brother Tubar B Allah, and to his left we have Knowledge Mathematics Allah, and to his left we have Allah Light, and we are representing the Nation of Gods and Earths here in Richmond Victory Allah. You know.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for being here. When you guys came in, we had an opportunity to build and offer each other some salutations, and I hope to progress throughout the night with the same love and respect. I want to kind of get to the basics. I don't know a lot about the Nation of Gods and Earths. I know a little bit. And usually when one thinks that they know a little bit, they usually find out that they don't know much of anything. And so tonight is going to be a lesson for me as well as a lesson for the listeners. And I'll just start off with a question. I kind of know the answer to this one, but I know a lot of the listeners may not. And I know the brothers refer to themselves as gods, and we refer to our sisters as earths. Someone explain to me what the science is behind gods and earths. Why do we speak this way?
Anybody would like to?
Peace to the Nation of Gods and Earths and to all the listeners on this internet radio. My name is Tubar B Allah, and the Nation of Gods and Earths. Our origin started in 1964 by our father, who we call Allah. You know, he was a part of the Temple number 7, and he left Temple number 7 due to the fact that he realized the lessons that he was studying in the mosque. He realized that what the lessons was talking about was within himself, was him, right? And how we come to the conclusion that the black man is God is because I go straight to the Bible. Right? How God can manifest himself in a physical form. You know, he's almighty, he's true and living. You know, it say in the beginning was the word was God, the word became flesh. They say man was created in the image of God. Heir like the Father, heir like the Son. It also states in the Bible that ye are God's children. It also states that ye are God. So I go to the Bible for people that, you know, study the Bible, or, you know, they worship the Bible. So this is how, you know what I'm saying, I show and prove that the black man is God, is that we are the original man. We are the original people. You know, the oldest, the archaeologists, right, oldest bone that they have found were, you know, they take it back to the original. You know, the archaeology, the bone that they found, when they examined it and studied it, they have original features, right? And also within the documentary of Hidden Colors 1, 2, and 3, it tells you in depth about how, you know, all nationalities originally were black. Jews was black. The Orientals was black. You know, it all, black is the dominant. It started from us. We are the supreme being. This is why we say that the black man is God. You know, we show and prove.
Right. Let me ask you this. We mentioned 1964 and how the father was in, I think you said Temple number 7. I know what that is, but there are going to be some listeners that says Temple what? So with Temple number 7, what are we talking about more specifically? But what's his brother's name? Was Clarence X?
His name was Clarence 13X.
Okay.
When he was in the Temple number 7, which was part of the Nation of Islam, those temples were resurrected by Elijah Muhammad and some of his ministers at that time in Harlem. The minister that was in charge of Temple number 7 was Minister Malcolm X. He was in charge of Temple number 7, and this is where, you know, at the time Clarence 13X was a part of that temple. But in 1963 he left with the understanding of who he was, that the supreme being was him, and he wasn't going to worship a half original man. When they talk about Master Farad Muhammad being Allah, that was peace, but nowhere in Supreme Wisdom does it say Master Farad Muhammad is Allah. It speaks about Master Farad Muhammad, you know, being our prophet. meaning he was sent to give us a message to lead us to what? God. And God came in the physical form of Allah, arm, leg, arm, supreme head. And he came to the people as himself, as the people, to show and prove that the original black man is God. He is the maker and the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, and father of the civilization, and God of the universe. Before him there was none, and after him there'll be no more. We were the original people of this planet. Everything stemmed from the fathers and mothers of civilization, which is the black man and the black woman. You had another question up there referencing Earth. We like to refer to the black woman as Earth, which is her highest form of divinity. You have individuals in different cultures and different, schools of thought, different ideology, who says that, okay, the black woman is divine. We agree. They like to say that she's a goddess. God is the supreme being. And which part of him is less or des? So, having, I understand they want to connect a feminine energy or a feminine nature to the supreme being. Well, his counterpart would be the earth. That gives forth life, and sustains life. And as, let the earth add on to that as well.
I want to add on, as the earth, the significance with being earth is, like the God said, the life sustainer. You know what I mean? Through the woman, through the original black woman, all life passes through. She bears the life. And so when you look at it on a astronomical level, Earth is that life-giving planet. It's that life-sustaining, not giving, but sustaining planet. It's the planet that, has the perfect chemistry, and position to sustain all life. And so that is the significance of the black woman and of the earth. And I know nowadays, some women, you have different trains of thoughts and things of that nature, of women who feel like, well, our job is to born babies, or that's not our only role, and things of that nature, and it's not. And it's very much so not. However, that is an important role. It's one of the most important roles, and also being the home. Being the home is knowing how to set up a home to be able to nurture that life that you bear. So it's extremely important. It's all encompassing in many ways. So that's not just the job. It's one of many, as most mothers and women know. So,
stepping with Marcus J live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. Your phone number is 804-402-2893 is the number to dial. We're getting a question in from social media, and I usually try to make sure that we give social media priority, or phone calls priority, so you guys will see me occasionally diverting from the topic at hand. Lawrence is asking, can we explain how a cat and a rat and a dog make a pig?
Very interesting. Any of y'all brothers want to handle that one? Well, all right. Let's get it started. Well, if you look at the origin of the pig, it's some odd, a little over 4,000 years ago. All right. Now, during the time in which Musa, biblically is known as Moses, the great civilizer, Musa had a job to do, which was to come to the hills and mountains of Europe, or the Caucasus Mountains and the caves. He had to civilize the Caucasian and get him out of the caves. Now, at that time, they were living in the caves of West Asia, as they now call it, Europe, for 2,000 years, and they went savage and lost all knowledge of themselves. So they began, living on all fours, and, the uncleanliness of themselves as well. dealing with their hygiene and disease and things of that nature in the caves and in the burrows and foxholes that they lived in. Moses needed something to clean them up in order to get them out of the caves. So the stench was so bad in the caves, Musa or Moses sent in the cat, but the cat stayed. And he sent in the rat. And, as we know, the rat, cleans up everything, and then the rat stayed. So then the cat also came in to get the rat out, but the cat stayed. Now, the only thing that can get the cat out was the dog. So now the dog has to come into the cage, but the dog stayed too. That's why it's considered man's best friend, that wild jackal that is now domesticated as a dog. Went in as well. Now, due to, different methods of combining their genes, we have, inbreeded, as they did, they inbreeded the animal, and now you have portions of rat, cat, and dog, which is now your pig that is, which is, over 2,000 different species of swine that exist. And now you have your rat, cat, and dog. It was also used to be the medicine, which, if you look at most of your medicines now today, it's in there. It was used as medicine to clean them up out of the caves. Salt pork, taking away boils, things of that nature, because they didn't wash properly, things of that nature. But the rat, cat, and dog was specific to Moses's need to clean them up. This is why in his Mosaic laws, he forbid the eating of it, because it was a filthy animal. So they weren't allowed to eat it as well, because it was a filthy animal. That's dealing with the Judeo-Christian culture. But that pig is a beast. It was meant to be it's meant to be a garbage disposal to clean the land. It eats everything. It eats so it doesn't get hungry. And it can't be poisoned by even a snake. So it's a nasty animal.
Right. I just want to add on to what he was saying. How the pig was created through the breeding. It was the sperm of a rat and a cat injected into a female dog.
Yeah.
And if you look at the pig, if you really look at the pig, you can see the characteristics of all them, of the cat and the rat, if you look at his features. And this is how the pig was created, through the sperm of a rat and a cat injected into a female dog.
I've always found it curious why folks get so riled up when folks express their displeasure for the pig. I'm not a god in the nation of gods and earth, but I'm someone that would never eat pork, and
well,
I'm not a Christian person. I'm none of those things, but I'm also well read, and I'm also someone who has studied, beyond what I've been told to study. And so I know the history that you just laid out, but I also know if I wanted to just take it as a religious person, I know that I'm told not to eat it just because it's in the remix of the Bible. I call that the New Testament. I call it the remix. Yeah. But just because it's in there that says you pray over it doesn't mean that you weren't already told to stay away from it. So I'll just kind of leave it at that. And for anybody who wants to question that, they can call us at 804-402-2893. I'm sure the guys in the earth, and I know yours truly are well versed on being able to defend our feelings on how we feel about those things. Our brother Tavon, he's a host of our show on Saturdays. It's called I Got Something to Say. And he says those caves were the ones that were created by Yaqub. Now, I knew that because I spoke with him. We wanted to get that name, Yaqub, into the discussion. But we'll do that in a minute. We're getting a call. Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J, live from the Den Legacy Internet Radio. Caller, you're on the live line. Tell us where you're from and what you want to get in on.
Peace, I'm Josh. I'm not about Shannon Law. You know what I'm saying? Like to say peace to my brothers, Two Master, Two Bar.
Peace. Peace, God.
Part of the Nation of Gods and Earth. Peace to the gods, man. Peace to the gods and Earth, man. I just was doing an honor to the bill. Two Master had hit it dead on point. know what I'm saying, we're building on the science of the rat, cat, and dog. How, it was used to clean the devil up. It was a case of West Asia they called Europe, and my brother Tubar had it on very eloquently with the science of how it was conceived. And I just want to show love to my brothers. I hadn't been with them in a long time, and I miss their lovely smile. And I see the earth over there, peaceful, all the people. You know what I'm saying, everybody. And
Peace, God.
Peace to my brother.
Yeah. Peace.
Brother, appreciate you, man. Thanks for checking in with us, man. You're welcome anytime.
Peace.
All right, peace.
Peace. Yeah, I was Joshua Bell.
Half Stepping with Marcus J, live from the Dan Legacy Internet Radio. All right, we got Yakub introduced into the discussion. Anybody want to share about the big head man?
Peace. My name is Niles Mathematicallah. Yakub, the father of the devil. Yakub is an original man who had he was born with a determined idea, to make a people that is unalike. You know what I mean? I know I gotta say this much, because a lot of people say, was the proof he existed? So, I'm gonna say things that possibly gonna be asked, so I'm gonna say it ahead of time. Yakub, regardless of how you see it, how you dig into the historical or chronological aspect of it, the idea or the mentality of Yakub is a reality. You know what I mean? The Caucasian race, or Europeans, as some call them, is a grafted meaning some diluted upon self, something that is separated from the origin or the original, and also cross unnaturally brought into existence. So Yakub grafted the colored people, or the Caucasian or European race, out of the original people, meaning that in the black man and woman there exists two germs, a black germ and a brown germ. You know what I'm saying? So he grafted from the black, to the brown, and then through the yellow, until he got a recessive gene or germ, which created the Caucasian, which we call Caucasian race or Europeans. Yakub, the big head, as they say, big head science is dealing with his mentality, meaning that he brought about a dissatisfaction of what was already existed. So he had a head. It's not dealing with a physical aspect of his head. It's dealing with the mentality. You know what I'm saying? So Yakub also, I deal with the meaning of words. You know what I mean? So Yakub means a supplanter. See what I'm saying? So a supplanter means to take a place of another. So the original state, the original man, the original woman, which are the first people, he took a place of that and brought forth a new way of thinking, a new way of life, which brought about a new way of people. Everything is just with the mentality of mind. Everything, mind is first. So that mentality brought about a physical being, which we known as the Caucasian or the colored people or white people.
We're getting a question that one of you guys or ladies addressed this from the folks in social media. He asks, how can something with less create something with more? Genetically, a male is made up of less genetic material XY than a female XX. Just was looking for your viewpoint, is what the question is.
How can... let me make sure I understand the question. How can something repeat that question again?
Sure. I'm reading it directly from one of the listeners. How can something with less create something with more? Genetically, a male is made up of less genetic material XY than a female XX. And he's looking for your perspective.
I don't. Peace God.
I'm not sure.
I have an understanding on that.
What he's trying to say is, he's saying that the woman has more genetic material, and the male has less genetic material. So how could something of less genetic material create something of more genetic material?
Yeah, I think there's some folks that believe that woman is God.
Now we're gonna get to that right now. We're gonna get to that now.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. That might be where he's going.
That's where he's going. I know where he's going because he want to deal with the mitochondria, DNA, and all of that. Forget that. Knowledge this. You just said it yourself. The woman has 2 X chromosomes. How can it create a Y? So even now, when we deal with reproduction, as it was before, so shall it be now. Now, as we deal with reproduction, the male, he possesses both chromosomes, a Y and an X. The Y makes it of a male principle. Now, a woman gives off her 23 chromosomes, which will always be X, because that's all she has is XX. A male gives off his 23 chromosomes, which can be X or Y. They come together to form one child with 46 chromosomes, one human being with 46 chromosomes. Now, if the male gives off his Y, then the child becomes a girl. If the male gives off his Y, it becomes a male. If he gives off his X, it becomes a female. So, with her having more genetic material, look at the planet Earth. It's a whole lot of things on it. But what created it? There's a lot of things on the planet Earth.
Here's another challenge that we're getting from another listener.
Love it.
Yeah. This one's a challenge. Well, I won't speak what I think on it. I'll just ask the question. He is questioning some of the things that were said earlier. He says a man created mountains. I think he's speaking to when you said, God created
the heavens and the earth, didn't he?
Heaven and the earth.
Yes, he did.
And the black man is God.
Yes, he did.
I'm going to have you come back to that in a minute. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. Caller, you on the live line. What's your name? What you want to get in on?
Yeah, peace. How you doing, Brother Marcus?
Peace. Who am I speaking with?
Peace. Yeah, this is Lawrence Robinson.
What's up, Lawrence?
Yeah, I was listening to the guy when he was explaining my question about the making of the pig.
Okay.
And the guy with the dreadlocks, I think he used the word inbreeding, right? So breeding denotes sexual intercourse. So I want him to explain how does cat, rat, and dogs perform such a thing. And the other guy that mentioned that he mixed the sperms together, I want him to explain what did they use as a centrifuge in order to accomplish the sperm thing that you were explaining. I want him to, elaborate on that. And I want him to use science. I don't want him to use the Bible. I just want him to use science, because I'm not lost in the Bible or anything like that. So I want you to use science. I want to know, what did y'all use 4,000 years ago as a centrifuge in order to extract the genetics of those 3 animals and cross them together? And I'll hang up and listen.
Okay, brother. Thank you for checking us out. We had your question, and I'm glad you called so you can kind of clarify what your question is, and I'll leave it to the guys to answer it. I appreciate you, brother.
Right, because I want him to know that the guy with the hat on was talking something about crossing genetics, and the guy with the other joint, he used in breeding is sexual intercourse. So y'all have to come together on y'all contradiction about that. But go ahead and explain it.
Okay.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, brother. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. True, you want to address what the brother said?
Yeah, well, for one, maybe I used the wrong term of breeding, if you want to look at it from a Webster's Dictionary point of view. But we combine the genetic material, the same as if, we've created all things in existence. There were flying apparatuses, in Kemet, but we credit the Wright brothers for saying they were the first in flight. You know what I'm saying? So for one, we weren't there 4,000 years ago physically myself to tell you what I used to do that. You know what I'm saying? But can it be done? Yes, you see the evidence of it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to work backwards and look at the evidence of something. And the evidence shows and proves it. There are animals that don't breed naturally that exist right here. How were they made? You know what I'm saying? There's fruit that you eat right now that's grafted.
Ain't no half step on Marcus J. live from the den. Legacy Internet Radio.
Yeah.
We can get another caller on the live line.
Okay.
Caller.
Yeah, I said I was going to listen, but I wanted to kind of stop him for a minute. And I know that it can be done with mathematics. I agree with you on that, but I want you to explain to me, what did you use as a centrifuge? This word centrifuge has to take place in this conversation.
Well, I'm not.
Hold on.
A centrifuge, you're dealing with as if I'm studying in some laboratory. I'm not. I'm living. You know what I'm saying? Mathematics. I'm a living God. I can see the existence of the work that was done. You know what I'm saying? By its
No,
existence.
listen what I'm saying.
So if you can elaborate on the centrifuge, that would be awesome.
And this dog, and this cat, this rat, and this dog. And I'm using the word centrifuge because it's a part of the narrative of science. It's part of your subject that you're discussing. So I want you to tell me, what did you use as a centrifuge? And I want some type of empirical data. I want something.
Empirical data, then you need to go under a study. Maybe you need to do a dissertation or a thesis and do your research.
Family, listen. You said that you was God. I'm not God. So I'm asking God to tell me, can you show and prove?
I just showed and proved. You eat a grapefruit. There's a grapefruit. Can you show and prove how it got together? But you eat it.
Looks like.
So what centrifuge did you use to get a grapefruit? Come on, man. You trying to deal with mystery. You know what I'm saying? You trying to, deal with that which is beyond 360 degrees, which is an illusion. Don't try to confuse the people. Talk to the people so that they can get an understanding. Now, if you want to deal with a centrifuge, then you go and do your research on everything that we have done in Kemet, that we have done in Ethiopia. Go look and see what we have done, and you will find your answer for that. I'm not searching for that answer because I know it already exists. It's already there. There's no need for me to go back. I need to go forward.
Right. I just like to say that this was over 400 years. It wasn't we per se did that. Musa did that. Musa in the Bible. He's the one that did that. So you acting like, we did it like, when it happened.
Musa being Moses.
Right. Yeah, and even if you're looking at the whole process of graftation, it was showing you and indicating it in Genesis. You know what I'm saying? Genesis, first of all, doesn't mean the beginning. The root word is gene. So we're dealing with genealogy. We're dealing with genetics. You know what I'm saying? So when we're dealing with grafting, you know what I'm saying, Yaqub, whom we were just discussing, the big head scientist, his translation is Jacob.
Can I just add on real briefly, the pig is not the only grafted animal. There are animals and plants and things of that nature, some that are still here, some that are well extinct, that are, culminations of different animals or happen as a result of breeding between species and breeding of different animals that come together. So the pig being a mixture of other animals is not a new concept, and so I guess I'm a little confused about this brother asking about a centrifuge, in the, I guess, the fixation on this piece of equipment that separates material is very, and again, I was born in 1978, not 2,000 years ago or 4,000 years ago. So I can't speak as to what happened, or none of us really can speak as to what happened exactly 2,000, 4,000 years ago. But what we can say is that what we do know is that, experimentation is not new. Grafting is not new. Some of the so-called sciences and things of that nature that we deem as, being very inventive and things of that nature nowadays have existed in ancient times, so it's not a new concept. And so I just want to throw that out there. And I guess I'm not understanding this fixation on a centrifuge when other materials could be used to have the same purpose.
Ain't no half step on Marcus J. You're back on the live line?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Sister, I am aware that there's nothing new under the sun, if that's what you're trying to tell me. But I know that the odometer existed in Rome 2,000 years ago, and now we find it in our car. But I also can locate records, right, of certain things that existed. So I want you to point out to me some type of manuscript relating to this work that you're talking about. And the reason why I talked about a centrifuge, because the guy with the black hat used the word extract. And he said, we put it into, right? One moment. He said, we put it into. Now, I'm just saying, can you give me some writing on this other than the Bible? Because one thing I know is that the nation of gods and earth is one of their famous statements is show and prove. I don't want no Bible verses. I want scientific facts.
Yeah, well,
I want one moment.
Yeah,
one
brother.
moment.
When I looked up, when I Googled,
I want the guy with the black hat to
all right,
explain
that's
the
me. I'm speaking.
When I Googled, point out the dates. I want dates. I want more than just the religious jargon.
All right, we got your question, and we're gonna go ahead and take it offline. Okay, brother?
Okay.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for supporting us, man. We're gonna get your answers here coming up. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. We're gonna get back to his question. I want to give some love to the folks on social media have been patiently waiting to get shouted out. We got Dahu God, Hakeem Mbaye, Equality Shabazz, Michelle K, Dallas, Malik Allah, Lord Shalah, Josh Shabal Bishan, Brother Tavon, Kervin Allen.
Peace to all the family out there.
My pops is checking in, and our brother Bondi, I think I shouted him out a little while ago, is checking in. I got another question in social media that I'm going to get to, but I want to finish this point before we do that. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry. I cut you off. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, what I wanted to say was about that last brother that was speaking about showing proof. When I Googled how the pig is made, the definition that I got was the same definition that I said, that it was grafted from a rat, cat, and dog. Google it.
We're getting a hit. We're getting a hit from a couple of hits from our brother Hakeem. Hakeem he's questioning earlier. I was getting to him before the call came in. True. We were talking about when we talk about the black man as God created the universe and such, and he's asking a man created mountains, and he asked it with question marks. And then he continues, because that comment came in a while, he's still listening, so he has another comment that came behind that, where he said, it's impossible, you can't inbreed species. So I want to kind of take...
So how do we get boxer dogs? How do we get all of the donkeys? How do we get a bat? How do we get these things that you see are two distinct animals?
Yeah, I mean, I think the easiest one would be the mule.
So
that would be the easy. That would be the easiest.
So
one.
now so we're just saying that God, if we're dealing with a mystery, put together these species and just said this is how they're going to be and that's how they're going to go? Or do you think that while we were here hundreds of trillions of years before this Caucasian, we didn't experiment in knowing every square inch of this planet? This is why you're still digging up our artifacts everywhere you go on this planet?
Yeah.
We were here a lot longer than the what is it? No, the as they say, the first man, the Adamic man or Adamatic man or something like that. Whatever.
Let me clarify, and I don't want to steal Hakeem's thunder, but he does ask a good question, a question that many folks have had, because if you don't live a certain way, if you don't live a certain life, if you don't have a certain knowledge and wisdom, then you quite frankly can't conceptualize certain things. And so when a person says, you know, a man created mountains, quite frankly, that sounds crazy to some folks. And I want to be able to come away from this piece of the discussion with an understanding of, do we mean that literally? And if we do, explain it. If we don't mean that literally, then explain it to me in a way that makes me not think it's crazy when I hear it. Does that make sense? Is that fair?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I want to touch on, I'm going to keep it simple, teacher, real, you know, and they can add on whatever's not understood. When most people say man, they think of just the physical composition, you know what I mean? We come into a physical form of existence. Man ultimately means mind. See what I'm saying? And mind is the supreme energy that shapes and molds all matter, like mountains, like planets and things of that nature. You know what I mean? So that's why I want to say that part. When we say man, we existed before the physical composition. Man is mind. Man is that supreme energy without form. You know what I mean? That shapes and forms all matter. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm going to ask it real plain. Do y'all think that a man actually made a mountain? Like literally physically made a mountain? Because that's what he's asking.
No, he's not going to shape and mold a mountain. No.
Exactly.
If you dealing with the gaseous state that the earth was in, you know what I'm saying, during creation, you know what I'm saying, dealing with its explosiveness from its core, you know what I'm saying, and as it was releasing pressure, it was having many explosions, which was shooting up and producing mountains. See, this is the science of when it says, you know, earthquakes is caused by the son of man experimenting with high explosives. Those high explosives is plate tectonics, is the plates shifting and moving. Those are the high explosives causing the friction, causing these explosions, you know, within the Earth's core. Hawaii itself, those islands were formed by what? Volcanic activity from underground, under the water. These are, you know, volcanoes that erupted, and then as it cooled, formed these Hawaiian islands. They weren't always there. So the Earth was always going through a process of growth and change. You know what I'm saying?
So to simplify, because I want to move past this because we got a lot of agenda that I want to get to, and I don't want to belabor this, but I want to make sure that we're clear. We're not saying that literally a man molded and made a mountain. No, I know that, and you know that. I think a lot of times what happens is people get caught up in specific wording and rhetoric, and they hear something that doesn't sound right to them, and so they'll fixate on that so that they can challenge you and say, gotcha. You know, I think we all do that. I know I do it, you know, and I'm guessing that y'all do it as well. It's human nature when we debate and when we build on such things. So I'm pretty sure we've cleared that up. And we can go ahead and move on to some other stuff. Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J. live from the Den Legacy Internet Radio. We're going to take our first break of the night. And when we come back, we're going to actually define who is 5%, who is 10%, and who is 85%. Marcus J. and the crew and you. We will be back in a few.
Hey, this is Warren Valentine, the #1 truth writer in America, and I'm listening to